All right, guys. So welcome back. Now let's begin with the interesting part, and that is our styling. So we're going to pick our styling from top to bottom. We're going to run it sequentially. Now over to our CSS styles. The first thing I always say is always to format your style sheet, and that is having your universal selector. Set the margin to 0 and padding to 0. Different browsers have some differences, and then some browsers could just have some extra padding or extra margin than some others. So just to be sure that your app looks similar across all browsers, ensure that from your end you probably you format it using this universal selector, margin 0, padding 0. So I save. There's nothing actually much that will be done to that. If I save and I refresh, nothing. It probably will just be closer to the left side and to the top. Let me scroll back to the top. All right, now, so the next thing we want to do, the next style we're writing, the main element, we setting the height. I need setting the height to auto, and you know what the main element is. The main element contains, all right, from this place downwards. That's the main element up until this place. That's the main element. So we are setting as the height to auto, and that what it means is it will automatically grow. We are not giving it any defined height. So according to whatever we put inside, that is what will determine its height. So it grows and shrinks according to the content inside. All right, now next we're going to start with our navbar. We're giving the navbar a background color of this particular color code is what they used on their site. So I copied it. Through my dev tool, I was able to inspect their site, and I copied that particular color code. Give it a padding. Okay. I think I have double. Okay, double this thing here, which should not be so. All right, so we have a padding top of 1M, padding left 2M, padding right 2M. This was probably meant to be padding bottom, but I will leave it because I've already predefined the old styles, and I believe I've adjusted it. So if I tamper with just one line right now, it will affect what I've done, because like I said, I've written about 1,200 lines of code. So tampering with anything at the beginning can affect my overall output. And I had to write it just to ensure that this video is not as long, because you don't want to imagine if I had to start writing it along with the video. I mean, I would spend a long time. So I had to just do all of the work, the background. So what I'm doing is literally pasting what I've rewritten or pre-written and explaining. So I gave the navbar a background color, and I padded it left, right, top. This was supposed to be bottom, but let's assume it is not there. So if I save, let's see what we have in our own site. Okay, it's not yet picking any colors. It's not yet showing. That's because we've not given it any width or height. So next, I give the prenav. Remember, the prenav is where we have this meta tag. And one thing I've told us before, that if you styling a div, one of the first things you should do to the div is give it a width and height. If you don't do that, you just be writing styles and you will not see anything. It's there, but because you've not given it any width, so it's not visible. That's why the nav now is not, the styles we wrote is not visible, because it's not yet, having any width or height. But this one now, we're giving it width 100%, that it is going to cover the whole screen from left to right. The height also automatic. It's going to just grow according to the contents inside. And I'm giving it a padding left because I don't want it so stuck to the flex start. So I want it to shift a little bit somewhere, just a little bit, 2Ms. So if I save now, let's see what we have there. Okay, it shifted a little bit. That is just all we can see for now. Next, the meta logo itself, which is that this guy here, we are going to style it. I give it a width of 5.5 m and height of 3.5 m. I save and let's see what we have. All right, it's looking as small as what we have originally now. So next, the header. Remember the nav. Okay, the ID of navbar. Let me see. What did we give? We have to always consult our HTML to be sure of what we are styling. What did we give ID of navbar again? It should definitely be the navbar. But let me just confirm. Pre-nav ID of navbar. Okay. Nav. Okay. ID of navbar. I'm sure I was not meant to write ID. I probably intended to just write navbar, but I mistakenly added this, and that is why this old styles is not showing. But like I said, I'm not going to remove it because I believe I must have corrected it, downward. So you can just remove this from your own code. All right, so now the header properly, the header is where the navbar is actually. So I'm giving it width, just similar to what I have here. Giving it the width of 100%. I'm setting its height automatic. It's going to be as long as whatever content is inside. So if the content inside is taking 50 pixel height, the header will be 50 pixel. If it's taking just 10 pixel height, whatever content will nest inside the header or inside the navbar will determine the height of the header. That's why it is automatic. And then now I give this background color to the header. If I save properly now, it should be visible. Visibility, can you see? So everything is there. Obviously big. Let's adjust it. Next, the nav. Remember, the nav is inside. The nav is inside the header, and inside the nav, that's where we have all this. Everything is actually inside the nav. The nav is nested inside the header. So every other thing, these three children, the logo, the lists that contains links to page, and finally the icon and that button, this div here, they are all nested inside the nav. So now inside the nav bar, I'm giving the display set to flex direction, set to row. Even if I didn't write this, by default it will be set to row. I'm turning on flex wrap, justify content, space between. There are three major things there. This guy here, this logo, this list is the second, and these ones like this are the third. So I want to align them from left to right. So this logo will be by the extreme left. All these links will be in the center, and this div containing these guys here would be at this side. So of course the width also 100%, padding 2m, that is on the top, bottom, left and right 2m, but later I increased the padding top to 4m. So 4m padding on the top, but the bottom, left and right is 2m. Let's save and see what we have now to begin to make more sense. Okay, it's still not making so because the width of this guy is pushing everything off. So next, let's adjust the width of the logo. WhatsApp logo, we are giving it a width of 16%. That is, Mr. WhatsApp logo, don't take the 100% space, just take 16%, and 16% should probably just be somewhere within this corner. So we're telling you to take 16%, and we're giving it a margin top of minus 2m. Currently is on 0. When you give it a negative margin top, instead of giving it space above, it is giving it space, it is pushing it up. So normally if I give it a margin top of 2m, I should not be explaining this, I believe you should know it already. Margin top of 2m should push it downwards, but minus 2m should shift it upwards, close to the beginning of this div. So that is what we have now. Let's save, and we'll save. Refresh. Can you see it is adjusted now? Everything is here, and the last div is here. So in the next video, we're still going to style this one and adjust. Can you see that the width is long now because these things are long? If they all grow short, the width of the entire header would also grow short, and that's because we set it to automatic. So in the next video, we're going to proceed, keep on styling. We're going to style the navbar properly and make it more reasonable. This one is already set, just like we have here. Can you see? So see you in the next video.